Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well and you've had a fantastic week this week. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for the Moshville Times. And today I am back with New Metal Monday, where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week. And I have 5 brand new albums that I want to talk about this week. Okay, so first up on my list, I have Cryptopsy with An Insatiable Violence. And this is the 9th studio album from the brutal technical death metal band from Canada. Now, to be honest with you, this band needs absolutely no introduction whatsoever. If you haven't checked it out yet, you are in for a treat. This album goes incredibly hard. It is insane. But if you have listened to it already, you're going to understand what I mean when I say it is an absolute face melter. Now, to be honest with you, I had no idea how they were going to level the playing field because Cryptopsy have been solid when it comes to releasing epic, brutally heavy death metal albums, particularly their early works such as None So Vile and Blasphemy Made Flesh. But this one in particular is incredible. It still has all the hallmarks of that classic Cryptopsy sound when it comes to the insane riffs, the screaming solos, the technicality. It is brutally heavy and absolutely insane. But at the same time, they have injected a lot of groove into this album. So yes, underneath all of that chaos and incredibly technically precise riffage, you do have a lot of really cool, groovy, stompy stomp moments as well. Now, thematically, this album is all about the toxic relationship that mankind has with technology and social media in particular, and that's really reflected well in the composition of the album. So you have a lot of technical aspects to this, as well as the time signatures. You've got these insane riffs that just seem to go on forever. Brutal, intense blast beats, chugging bass lines, and really powerful, deep, demonic vocals and gutturals. This is a fantastic record, all condensed into 34 minutes long altogether. 30 years into their career, they are still absolutely obliterating. So if you are a fan of the likes of Suffocation, Psychroptic or Nile, you're definitely going to want to get onto this one. It's short, sharp, straight to the jugular, doesn't let go, and it completely annihilates everything. Definitely check this one out. Okay, so next up on my list, I have Malevolence with Where Only the Truth Is Spoken. And this is the 4th studio album from the groove metal metalcore band from the UK. Now, what I like about this band is they are completely and utterly unapologetically themselves. They're going to do what they're going to do, and they're going to do it the best. And what I like about this album in particular is the raw energy and passion you can feel from it. When you listen to this album, you can really delve into the minds of the band, where they deal with topics such as integrity, loyalty, struggles, and victories. Now, these aren't just empty platitudes. What they do is they draw on inspiration from their own personal experiences and their professional experiences. Now, I really liked their last album, Malicious Intent, which I think was released back in 2022. And what they've done is they've used this album as a base and they've built on that. The songwriting is sharper, the instrumentation is well put together, and it is an absolute rager of an album. It's sharp, it's precise, and it's epically destructive without sacrificing their core sound. You have a lot of really cool groove-laden stompy stomp moments. You've got your fast-paced rapid moments, and you've also got a little bit of introspection thrown into the mix as well. So there's a whole range of emotions when you listen to this. It is ridiculously catchy. The hooks in this are addictive, and it is absolutely thunderous. So if you're a fan of the likes of Pantera, Machine Head, Shadows Fall, that kind of sound with a little bit of bleed from within thrown into the mix, this one is definitely for you. But I loved this album. It's ridiculously catchy, it's incredibly gritty, but it's really emotionally powerful at the same time. Definitely check this one out. Okay, so next up on my list, I have no idea if I'm going to be pronouncing this correctly or not, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I have Shouldered with Insouciant Metaphysical Grandeur. And this is the debut album from the Melodic black metal project from the US. This is another solo project. Yes, I always try to feature solo projects on these videos, and I absolutely adored this one. Now, this solo project comes from Carl Skilden, who you might recognise from bands such as Majesties and Inexorum, and this is melodic black metal, which is rich, yet bleak and incredibly icy, combined with dreamy interstellar synths and keyboards, which are absolutely beautiful. The use of keyboards and synths in this album, combined with that really bleak yet richly melodic black metal, is absolutely fantastic. It's full of dense melodics, tremolo picking, and they do utilise drum programming in this album, which doesn't sound terrible. I'm not a musician by any means whatsoever, but I can usually pick out when they use drum programming over live drums, and sometimes it can be a little bit off kilter, but in this album in particular, it works incredibly well. It doesn't sound terrible, it sounds really organic. Now, aside from the keyboards and the synth elements, which are quite prevalent throughout, but they don't take away from the black metal aspect of the album, it was actually the vocal style that really grabbed my attention here. Now, normally when you have a black metal album, it's very rasping and venomous and scream-like, but in this particular album, they're very haunting and almost like a whisper. It's like a rasping, haunting kind of whisper, which is very, very low, and that adds to that very ominous kind of foreboding atmosphere. But not only that, you have the foreboding side of things, but there's something very magical, mystical and grand about this record. There's something incredibly captivating, and it's only 34 minutes long, so it doesn't overstay its welcome, but at the same time it completely hooks you in when you listen to this. And even though it's only 34 minutes long altogether, there's 7 tracks on the album, so it's nicely spaced out. Plus, can we take a moment to admire that album artwork? Like I said, the synths and the keyboards are very dreamlike and interstellar, and that's the kind of vibe that I got from the album artwork as well. So that's really well matched up. So if you've enjoyed any of the melodic black metal albums that utilize a lot of synths and keyboards that I've mentioned on this channel, such as Laser Throne, Labyrinth, the Stellarum, or even the Skugger album from a few weeks ago, this one is definitely for you. But this is a fantastic album. I absolutely loved it. Definitely check this one out. Okay, so next up on my list, again, I have no idea if I'm going to be pronouncing this correctly or not, but we're going to go with it anyway. I have IHA Takat with Confessing Darkness, and this is the 4th studio album from the German black metal band. Now, this is dark, it's full of rage, and it's an absolute beast of a record. You have flurries of tremolo picking, really dense, harsh melodics, insane blast beats, and chugging heavy bass lines. But again, much like the last album I spoke about, it was the vocal style that really grabbed my attention on this album. Like I said before, with black metal albums, you expect the vocal style to be very rasping and venomous and spitting, but on this particular album, they're roaring, they're incredibly deep, they're dissonant, they're despairing, but they have a bit of a death metal edge to it, which makes the album all the more impactful. This album is incredibly abrasive and intense, but on occasion you do have kind of like a ritualistic edge to it as well. So if you are a fan of the likes of Migwa, early Behemoth, a little bit of Spectral Wound, you're definitely going to want to get onto this one, but I absolutely loved this album. It's dark, it's enticing, it's incredibly heavy, but really fun to listen to. Definitely check this one out. Okay, so last up on my list, but certainly by no means least, I have no idea how to pronounce the first part of this album. I am so sorry, but I am just going to refer to it as the second part, but the text will be on the screen below, and that's Helheim with Advesa. And this is the 12th studio album from the Viking black metal band from Norway. Now, this album is split in 2 halves by the 2 main songwriters of the band. So the first half of the album, which is the part that I cannot pronounce, I'm so sorry, but it will be on the screen below, is 4 standalone tracks which were sung by that first songwriter. And then the second half, Advesa, are 4 components of Norse mythology which are collectively known as the human soul, and those 4 components are named by things that I cannot pronounce either. But all of the information is on their Bandcamp, which is linked in the description box below. I did a terrible job of describing that. I am so sorry, but we move on. Now, musically speaking, it is incredibly progressive, harsh and gritty, but there's a beauty behind that as well. And you can definitely hear the difference between the 2 halves, but at the same time they complement each other incredibly well. The vocal style, you've got a mix of bleak shrieks and rasps, you've got these guttural roars, and you also have ritualistic clean vocal moments throughout as well. Massive hooks in this which are incredibly addictive. You've got these haunting ritualistic moments, You've got the harsh black metal element and some really cool progressive elements as well. But it's the energy from this album that I enjoyed the most. You do get that very ancient atmospheric vibe when you listen to this, but when you combine it with all of these extreme metal elements rolled into one, it is a highly addictive yet strong soundscape which takes you on a journey, and I absolutely loved it. So if you are a fan of the likes of Campfire, Enslaved or Borknagar, you're definitely going to want to get onto this one. But it's one of those albums which is a sprawling soundscape and there's a lot of different layers to it, and each time you listen to it you discover something new and it just gets better and better. Definitely check this one out. And that's it for this week's New Metal Monday. Once again, comment down below to let me know what you think of today's records, and if you have any of your own recommendations, please let me know and I will definitely get them added to my list. Now, before you run off at the end of this video, I have a very small announcement to make. The podcast that I'm involved in, Hell Hath No Fury, has just posted its 4th episode. Now, on this episode, we talk about the phenomena of the bimblecore subgenre of metal, and we give our opinions on the situation. If you have no idea what bimblecore is and you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can watch the video and let us know in the comments section what you think of bimblecore. However, back to this video, if you check out the description box below, I have included a Spotify playlist link, which includes every single album that I talk about on my New Metal Monday videos. So if you use Spotify, make sure to follow that because I update that every single Monday when one of these videos goes live. I've also included the band's Bandcamp links below just in case you don't use Spotify, just so you can find the music that I'm talking about as easily as possible. If you want to follow me on social media, all of my handles are in the description box below as well. I am a lot more active over there, so feel free to give me a follow. Thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate you all as always, and I will see you very soon in my next video.